Well, come on in the room. Come on in the room. This is Andy C. Luter, and as a representative of Luter Life Coaches, I am here with this webinar. And if you're looking at me, as well as the other persons who are on the screen, that means that you have successfully signed up for this webinar. We're going to get started in just a second. Let me very, very quickly tell you how delighted and excited I am to have this opportunity to share this information with you. Listen, over the next several moments, you're going to be given immense information that you can apply to your lives immediately. I am joined by two powerful personalities who are going to make major contributions to this conversation. And let me pause right now and do that again. I am Andy C. Luter. I am the head of Luter Life Coaches. I live in New York and have an extensive background in this particular area. I'm a graduate of Oberlin College as well as Harvard University and United Theological Seminary out in Dayton, Ohio. And I want to share with you two powerful people who are going to change your lives today. And I say that not because of my personal relationship with them, but because of how gifted and talented they are in this particular space and in this area. And in addition to that, they happen to be my sisters. We are a brother-sister team. And so this webinar is going to treat you to a conversation between siblings. Let me start and go to Atlanta and begin with Tanya Luter Aaron. Say hello to us and then tell our audience just a little bit about yourself.
Well, welcome everyone. My name is Rosalind Luter Aaron, and I reside in Georgia. I reside in Dacula, Georgia, which is located in Gwinnett County. I am a youth leadership motivational speaker, as well as a in leadership mastermind facilitator. I've been an educator for a number of years, and some of my background, if you will, as of New Year's Day, I will be married for 43 years. God has blessed our union with 6 children and 13 grandchildren. I am delighted to be here with you all today and excited about your future.
Thank you so much, Rosalind. Let's come back to New York. And Tanya, would you say hello to us and share with those who are sharing with us just a bit about yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so excited and delighted about this opportunity that we're embarking upon with my brother and my sister, because we feel that there's a mandate on our life to be able to enrich the lives of people that we come in contact with. That is our goal, that is our vision, and I trust that you will be blessed as you travel through these training modules with us. I am married to Elder Calvin Gordon. We just celebrated October 1st, our wedding anniversary, our 7th year anniversary. I am a business really consultant type person. Several years ago, I tapped into a niche market which deals with certified companies, those that are women, minorities, and veterans, and opportunities to be able to facilitate them to be able to get clients that are buyers from both the public and the private sector. When I say public and private sector, I mean the government for public, and I mean Fortune 500 corporations and other private enterprises. And so I embarked several years ago on doing the largest business procurement conference in the Long Island region, which lends itself to me really being an expert in the area of teaching and motivating people in the area of how to enrich their lives and how to be able to incorporate principles, wealth building principles, self-improvement principles. So as you join with us, as I said before, I look forward, along with my brother and sister, bringing great value to your lives.
So now let me thank both Rosalind Aaron and Tanya Gordon for their very fine introduction. I hope you have a sense of who these individuals are that will be talking to you over the next several minutes. Now listen, I want you to stay with us until the end of this webinar, because we not only have a special treat for you, but we have something that we want to put in your hands and make available to you that is literally going to change your life. Now, what we're going to be talking about in this webinar is a course that we have put together in the area of leadership. Now, we can't give you all of the course here in the webinar, but we're going to give you so many highlights and you're going to get so much meat from our discussion today. You're going to feel like you have been in a classroom for several minutes. Again, I want you to hold on to the end of this webinar so that we can make available to you a tool that we know is going to transform your life. But I'm going to ask Rosalind Luter Aaron and Tanya Luter Gorton to give you some of the insights and the highlights, give you just a brief overview, maybe even a sampling of what it is that we have available to you. So now, Rosalind, when you talk about leadership development and the more comprehensive course that we have in this area, you cite two areas that's pivotal for the person who is involved in that experience, and that is participation and engagement. Can you expand upon that so that our audience will be clear on what it is that you are anticipating them being able to do as a part of this learning experience?
I will be happy to. The goal is to identify and embrace systems, strategies, and methods that will empower you to achieve your desired outcomes. The truth is that I don't know everything about everything. And having said that, the feedback from fellow participants, in addition to your own revelations, will take you deeper into the process of discovery. By the time we're finished, you will have learned more about yourself, from yourself, and others.
Very good, very good. Now, Tanya, can you add to that and enhance upon what it is that we're really trying to instill in individuals as a part of this learning experience?
Well, I think what's very important for people to be successful as they engage with us through this process is that they lean in, to be totally committed, to be willing to open yourself up and to be able to do some self-exploration. Because in order to be successful when you're doing this type of self-development, you have to be willing to see where you are today, but you also have to have a great sense of self and what the direction that you want to take so you can improve both your personal and your professional life. And that is what we're going to be excited about doing throughout this whole process as we share different tidbits, knowledge that you'll be able to incorporate in your life immediately to see improvement, to bring value to both you, your family, your coworkers, people in your social settings, your centers of influence.
Now, both of you have given a broad overview of what the individual can expect. And again, friends, this webinar is intended to introduce you to the specific content that we have in a leadership development course. So if it's with your family, if it is with your friends, if it's on your job site, wherever leadership needs to be developed in your life, we have a tool, we have a mechanism that's going to help you do that. So as you listen to Tanya talk, as you listen to Rosalind talk, they are talking about the internal contents of that learning experience, which is designed to deliver to you exactly those tools that's going to enhance your leadership development. Now, Rosalind, I'm coming back to you because I want you to share with the participants of this webinar specifically what they can expect to take away from this experience.
That is an excellent question. All of these courses require a commitment intended for people who are motivated and serious about making effective and lasting changes to their lives. Out of respect for others and you as a participant, each course starts and ends right on time. All participants are asked to please be ready and be prepared by having read the assignment and have the materials and the worksheets that are made available on PowerPoint. You must bring enthusiasm. and positive vibrations, because any negativity is strictly prohibited. Upon completion of the courses, you will receive a certificate of completion. I will say this, as we launch this program, we are beginning with understanding the leadership cap. So when you're ready for me to expound on that, by all means, I will be happy.
Okay, very, very good. Now, Tanya, you have been in a business environment. You have been in corporate situations. And so you have a unique angle and perspective on how critical and important leadership is in that context. Can you give a description of just how valuable this leadership development is for persons who find themselves in that kind of situation?
Absolutely. So it really deals with the impact that you have when you're dealing with people. So in a professional setting, in a business setting, whether you are the owner of a company, if you are in management, you must be able to understand and appreciate and value the tools that you bring to the table to encourage people to follow you. In corporate America, oftentimes we were responsible for bringing new information to our staff, whether it processes, whether it dealt with new products that we were making available, but you had to be effective in the way you communicated with the people in order for them to embrace the vision of whatever it was that you were sharing with them. So it is very, very important, the impact. And that's, I can't stress that enough. With whatever you're doing, whoever you're communicating with, and since you've asked me specifically from a business standpoint, you have to be able to communicate extremely well, bringing impact to the persons or the audience that you're dealing with.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much, Tanya. Now, Rosalind, I'm coming back to you because I want to rewind the tape just a little bit, and I want to be fundamental. I want to be basic because I don't want to make the assumption that persons who are sharing in this webinar, who are attending this webinar, may already know what the driving forces are that leads them to leadership development. Can you help identify for our attendees, what are some of the signs? What are some of the forms? What are some of the ways that an individual will know that they stand in need of leadership development?
Now, that is a great question. These leadership development courses are designed for like-minded people who desire to focus and achieve their goals through the study of a precise set of material and information. Let me go back to focus, because focus is huge here. And there is an acronym for focus: follow one course until successful. As a youth leadership motivational speaker, I encourage young people all the time. I let them know everyone has at least one gift, but most of us have more than one gift. And so I encourage them to follow one course at a time until successful. Hence, no matter where you are in this leadership process or on the leadership spectrum, know this: the greater the number of principles and disciplines you learn, the better the leader you will become. Each basic principle is like a tool, ready to be picked up and used to help and achieve your dreams and add value to other people. To be clear, leadership is neither a title nor a position. Leadership is bringing value to everyone upon whose path you cross.
Thank you so much, Rosalind. Tanya, let me turn to you. And I've already mentioned and referenced that one of your niche specialties is corporate and the business environment. But you've had occasions to operate outside of those realms. So can you just quickly mention or give an example of another area where leadership development can be applicable to an individual's life?
Absolutely. Two of the areas that I like to focus on is abundance living, but also wealth building strategies, which is one of a myriad of topics that can bring value to one's life. And so, one of the areas that I've really studied and I'm passionate about is to be able to help people, one, to be able to see how they can have a fulfilled life, both personally and professionally, and how to incorporate the tools to be able to yield that type of return in their life. Because when you're happy, when you're fulfilled, guess what? Your spouse is fulfilled, your children are fulfilled. People that are around you are drawn to you because you have this positive energy and they just can't get enough of you. And so that is one of the areas that I find so valuable because, as Rosalind said, we really embrace positive energy because in order to succeed, you can't have stinking thinking. You have to think on a higher level for success.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Tanya. Rosalind, permit me to return to you. In your previous response, and again, I'm Andy C. Luter, and this is a webinar that you are attending that's being facilitated by Rosalind Luter Aaron and Tanya Luter Gordon, as well as myself, Andy Luter, and we are Luter Life Coaches. And we're doing these webinars to help you understand that we are anxious and passionate and excited about putting tools in your hand that's going to transform your life. This is one of several webinars that we will be doing in the area of self-help, improvement, enhancing your life. So, Rosalind, let me return to you because in your previous answer, you talked about the leadership spectrum. Now, the first thing that I want to ask you, and this is actually a two-part question, the first thing I want to ask you is, can you clearly identify what tools that we're going to give to people that's going to help them identify where they are on this leadership spectrum that you're talking about? And can you be a little more specific in helping individuals understand what is the leadership spectrum?
Wow. Now that is a really good question. Upon enrolling in the first course, you will receive an assessment chart, and that will lay the foundation for where you are on the leadership scale. First, you will evaluate your own strengths and weaknesses on a scale of 1 to 10, based on the 20 essential characteristics of leadership. After which, you will ask someone that you trust to evaluate you on a scale of 1 to 10. The mean score determines your leadership cap. Now, some of these areas are character, like integrity, charisma, magnetism, and charm, commitment, dependability. Are you a promise keeper? Communication, capability, courage, servanthood, teachability, as well as vision. Vision and dreams and aspiration. To address the second part of your question, permit me to offer the following. The best way to illustrate it is visually. So I would ask you to somewhat use your imagination. Let's say my right hand represents my leadership level. Let's say my left hand represents my success level. The take-home point is this. My success level, let's say it's a 5. If it is a 5, my leadership level, if it is a 5, that means that my success level will never exceed a 4. My success is contingent on my ability to be an effective leader. So if my leadership status on a scale or on the leadership spectrum is a 5, I know that my success will never be higher than a 4. So what we do is provide that essential characteristics of what a leader is. And upon determining what that is, we understand that our success is going to be contingent on that. So, having said that, never in the history of the world has an entity, a business, a company ever been able to exceed or reach their fullest potential of success until the leadership component is in full throttle. So I am saying to you that whatever your leadership level is right now is literally the cap on your potential. In other words, I am only going to be as successful as my ability to lead.
Excellent, excellent. And I'm going to kind of come back to that in just a moment. But before I do, I want to shift back over to Tanya. Tanya, in your experiences, I am sure you have come in contact with any number of people from all walks of life. How have you found people's ability to discover where they are on the leadership spectrum? And then maybe let me make it personal. How did you discover where you were on the leadership spectrum?
Well, I think the leadership spectrum that we're using is a phenomenal tool that anyone can use. And yes, I have personally taken the evaluation myself, because we can have a perception of ourselves, right? But there can be people in our centers of influence who might regard us totally different. And again, we want to be impactful with those that we engage with. So I have encouraged people, as I've done myself. Not only have I taken that self-evaluation, but I've had others take it. And fortunately, the majority of the areas, it's consistent with my perception of myself. But I think it's very important that you utilize this as a tool before you embark upon the training that we're going to make available, because you have to know where you are before you can see where you're going. And like I said, just like when you're in school and you take a test, right? Just like when you take, let's say, the SATs, that will let colleges know where you are, so that as you begin to grow, you have a point of reference to be able to judge yourself from. Because as Rosalind said, you can only be as effective as a leader, and again, with providing great impact with people you influence, if you have a good assessment of where you are, because as a leader, because that controls your cap. And so the tool that Rosalind's talking about is invaluable, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and it has helped me through this process.
Ah, so good, so good, so good. Now, Rosalind, you used two key terms in your previous response that has stuck with me, and I can't seem to get it out of my mind, out of my ear, out of my head. And it is leadership and effectiveness. You've tied the two together, that one does not happen without the other. I want to give way, open the microphone up so that you can further explore and explain this curious relationship between leadership and effectiveness.
The real question is, are you willing to invest the time to educate yourself to become a better leader? The one thing you need to know about leadership is that there is more than one thing you need to know about leadership. Now, this is why we have taken the time to compile over 20 courses that will aid you in becoming the leader that is necessary to realize your dreams and desires. Some principles will expose weaknesses you may not have ever realized you had. Some principles you may have already practiced. All are tools to help you achieve your purpose and aspirations. As our time together draws nigh, as I know, permit me to pause, edit, whatever you want to do there. Because I'm looking at my script and I'm thinking 30 minutes and that we should be almost over. But I need you to cut that off where I said what I did. Hold on a minute. What happened to the paper? Come on. Oh, Lord. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. the learning curve? First time. I think we're doing good for the first time.
I need to cut that off, Bishop. Hold on a minute. Where's my doggone script? Where'd you go? Oh, Lord mercy. Let me stand. Hey, go back here. Gotta be here somewhere. Okay. Okay. So, Bishop, I want to bring that to a close. Hold on. Yes, you talked about leadership and effectiveness. Where that needs to cut off, Bishop, some principles will expose, where it says basic principles of leadership, the leadership cap. Did I say that?
Yeah.
That's where it should end, because after that is another question.
Okay.
Okay. Continue to be. Okay, wait a minute. But I know why I'm saying that is because your purpose and aspirations. And then I was going into, and I guess it's a part of a picture, and that's really what you want to do. Is as our time draws nigh, permit me to thank you for joining us on our first Leadership Development Webinar. These complimentary webinars will continue to be available on a weekly basis. So I need you to cut all, that's what's on your script, that's what's on my script, but I don't know that you want to put that there. Because then I have a close,
All right,
hope
but
you inspired and all that.
You didn't say any of that.
No, I didn't say any of that,
so,
because did you want me to?
Okay.
Because
No.
if not, it might not be the place, because as you're still moderating, we have not, I think as the moderator, you will be the one to say, as our time draws nigh, as we come to a close, I think that you should be saying that versus me. So when, at the end, we say all tools are to help you achieve your purpose and aspirations. If you can put that section, end it there, and then continue on when you edit.
All right.
Okay? But that's where it ends. All are tools to help you achieve your purpose and aspirations.
Okay.
And then you go on from there, because I start wrapping it up at that point, because when I was timing myself, that's what was happening. But it seems like, but we hope to.
I need you to be quiet so I can go ahead and continue.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, Rosalind, thank you so very, very much. Now, turning to you, Tanya, I am sure you're anxious to weigh in on this and talk about the connection and the teamwork of leadership and effectiveness as well. So in your experiences, how has leadership combined with effectiveness to make the individual a better person?
Well, leadership has to be driven by effectiveness, because people have different perceptions of leadership. But in order to, again, and I focus on this, in order to be successful, you have to be laser focused on what your goals and objectives are. And effectiveness is a driving force, because again, the sum total of what we're hoping to do is to be impactful. And the only way to be able to judge that is to make sure that the cornerstone of the training that we're going to provide you deals with effectiveness.
Well, friends, that takes up just about all of my time, and I certainly want to thank you for yours. Listen, you have been listening to Rosalind Luter Aaron, along with Tanya Luter Gordon, and myself, Andy Luter, and we've spent these last several minutes sharing with you leadership development. Now, I promised you that if you waited to the end, I would share with you an opportunity. And here is the opportunity. The opportunity is that we have worked very, very, very hard in putting together a rigorous curriculum, a series of courses that we're making available to you. We're making them available to you in two ways and on two platforms. They will be available as an online course that you will be able to self-pace yourself with. And in addition to that, you will have an opportunity to work with Rosalind Luda Aaron as a personal coach. We have arranged to make her available to you on a scheduled time and platform where you can take advantage of so much of this information and so much of this material that you have been listening to in the last several minutes. I want to close with this, and Rosalind, I'm returning to you. I want to close with this. These courses that we're making available, while they will have an immediate impact upon the individual, can you talk for just a moment about the transformative impact it will have on their future in addition to their present?
Thank you so much for that question. We are in a time in a changing world. The change is relentless. And these courses will remain transformative, of a transformative value in the future. So while times change and technology marches forward, the principles of leadership are constant and stand the test of time. In closing, we explore the basic principles of leadership. The principles can be mastered. Some are easier to understand and apply than others, but every one of them can be learned. The principles can fly solo. Each principle complements all the others, but you don't need one in order to learn another. The principles carry penalties. If you ignore them, you will be unable to lead well. If you implement them, people will follow you. These principles are the foundation of leadership. Once you learn these principles, you have to apply them to your life to achieve your full potential as a leader. Working hard at raising your leadership cap will increase your effectiveness and potential for success.
Thank you, Rosalind. And Tanya, I want to give you an opportunity to have one of the final words in this particular area. And I want you too to talk about not only how this information will immediately impact where you are right now, but how it will impact your days to come.
I thank you for that question. When I first spoke, I shared with the audience that as a brother-sister team, which is unique unto itself in this space, that we feel we have a mandate on our life. And the mandate is to really transform lives, because there are several leadership courses that are out here. But what we feel distinguishes us from everybody else is that we are driven by bringing great value to your life, not to say that others aren't, but through the principle of transformation. Because once you have incorporated these basic principles in your life, and the light bulb goes off, and you find who you are and why is so important that you do what you do. And so all of that is part of the transformation. And when we see that you get to that point and you now have a more enriched life, that then brings value to us, because that is really what our purpose is. That is what is driving us to do this. Because yes, we can teach you the tools, but once it becomes a part of your life and you have transformed your life to more abundant living, then you have truly embraced success. And that's what we're about.
Well, friends, there you have it. Rosalind Luda Aaron, Tanya Luter Gordon and Andy Luter, we have spent these last several minutes sharing with you insights and tools that can be used to enhance, improve, expand your life. Now, listen, we have a leadership development course, and this leadership development course is not narrowly defined. It doesn't help in just one area. It can help you at home. It can help you with your family. It can help you in school. It can help you on your job. It can help you with your friends, your coworkers, your colleagues, wherever you find yourself interacting with other people. This leadership development course can have a major impact upon where you are now, where you have been, and perhaps more importantly, where you are going. Now, listen, we're going to be bringing these webinars to you on a regular basis. Won't you tell a friend, tell a neighbor, next time you hear from us in one of our emails or text messages that we're doing another webinar, won't you make yourself available, and won't you share with friends that this material is available as well? We want to impact your life. We want to give you tools. We want to share with you. And then we want you to take advantage of the research and the time that we have taken to put tools together that have the ability to transform where you are. So until next time, know that we're here. We're looking forward to seeing you real soon in this virtual classroom where hopefully your lives will be changed.